I'm going to be replacing the boot that covers the inner tie rod because it has a rip in it. So there's basically two clamps holding it on, and I've already ordered my new boot, and it comes with its own set of new clips. One of the clips, which is this outer clip, you can detach and reuse, which you can use some pliers to take off. And then the inner clamp is kind of a special boot clamp. You'll need a special tool to be able to crimp this piece up here. So we purchased that tool at a local hardware store. Advanced Auto has it in stock. So I'll put the tool in the description, but we'll be tightening that using the tool. So in order to take off the boot, we are going to be taking off the outer tie rod so that we can slip the boot off. And there's a little nut here that is 24 millimeters. We'll be taking that off. And to keep the outer tie rod from kind of spinning, I'm going to use another 24 millimeter wrench to keep it from spinning right here. There's a little square area where you can put your tool on. I don't have two 24 millimeter wrenches, so I'm going to use my Crescent wrench to hold it to keep it from spinning. And I've already put some penetrating oil on here yesterday. Hopefully that will make it a little bit easier to take off. So as I was trying to tighten it, this was moving around quite a bit, so I'm going to just put the nut back by hand to keep it from kind of coming out. I hope this is good enough. So once this nut is loose, like this, that's good enough. You just want to be able to have it not tight so that you're able to move this, because we're just going to be detaching this outer tie rod. So now that I've got it busted loose, I'm going to take this nut back off. And before you take the outer tie rod off, you want to count the number of complete revolutions that you've made to take it off so that we can put it back on in about the same location. But since we're not moving this nut yet, we will be taking this off once this is off so that the boot can slip out. So we will be actually moving this from its current position. But that's basically why we are counting the number of revolutions so that we can get this in about the same spot and then get this nut back in about the same location. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 21, 24, 30. So we had 30 revolutions, and now we should be able to take this off. Now, if this is tight and it's spinning your shaft, you can grab a smaller wrench. So I'm not exactly sure what size this is, but since I have my Crescent wrench, I'm just gonna put that on here. We're just gonna need it to keep it from spinning. And then this is 24 millimeter, so hopefully this is smooth enough to where I can get it off with my hands. All right, next we're going to take the outer clamp off. Basically, you just grab these little two pieces and squeeze. You can reuse it, but the kit comes with a new clamp. So next, back here, we've got the clamp, and here's the crimp part. To get this off, a lot of people will just take maybe a little screwdriver and hit it against one of these two sides to try to bust it loose. And now I should be able to pull the boot off. Right now, this is spinning, but it's not coming off. So if you take a look at inside of your old boots, if there's like a bunch of grease, then that is kind of an indicator that you may need to replace your steering rack. But we do have some oil in here. It's not too bad, but I'm going to steal a little bit of this grease and I'm going to put it on the end of the new boot so that we can slip it on a little bit easier. So I'm going to take the old clamp off too. So this is the new CV boot clamp, which comes in the kit. And we're going to be putting this over the boot at the end. Now, in order to crimp this, you need a special tool, which is a CV boot clamp plier. And essentially you just put these two ends like that. And you would squish it together. And it would end up kind of looking like this one, where it's already been squeezed together. So first thing is I'm going to just put this over the boot. And it's pretty tight, so I'm just going to put that on. And I'm going to apply some grease here on the new one, make it slide in a little bit easier. So here's my crimping spot, and since I need access to be able to crimp it, I'm going to face it to the bottom. I do have a shield on this Raptor, so I'm hoping I'll be able to get access to it from right next to the shield. There's a little bit of an opening. If I can't, I may need to remove the shield. I'm hoping that I don't have to do that, but let's go ahead and reinsert this. Okay, so this now is in position. So here's the inside of the boot, and here's the part that I'm going to crimp. I'm going to orient that towards the opening here in the shield. But first I need to get this boot on. Okay, right about there is where the old boot used to be. I'm going to bring my pliers up here. Okay, that's crimped. Next, I'm going to put on the small clip again. I'm going to reinstall the nut, and I'm going to put it up a little bit further than where it was before so that we can then come back and tighten it up later. I think that should be good. So I'm ready to reinstall the outer tie rod. I'm just going to face it in the same direction and count 30 rotations, which is the amount that I had to do in order to get it off. So I'll do, just face it in the right direction. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 18, 21, 24, 26, 29, 30. So now that we have it at the correct location, we're going to now bring this nut back down up against the outer tie rod, and we just now need to tighten this to make sure that it stays. Just going to put this nut back temporarily. That I'll get my 24 millimeter and my Crescent wrench. To keep it from spinning. Okay, so try to get this as tight as you can by hand. I don't know if this has a certain torque spec, but since this is going to be adjusted by the alignment shop, they're going to torque it down to the right setting. So now I'm going to tighten up the nut on the outer tie rod, and that attaches to the knuckle here. So the inner shaft, to prevent it from spinning, you can put on a 10 mil like that, and then 21 millimeter for the nut. Okay, so that's starting to tighten up now. I'm ready to torque it down to 85 foot-pounds.